to an extent, I'd like to see it handled locally, because I think the challenges are different. And that's not to say that, you know, some of these issues pop up in West Bridgewater and Easton, also pop up in Brockton. Maybe not to the same scale or the same level, but they're the same. I mean, kids are kids, and if there's not a lot of supervision and there isn't structure, you know, how much do you blame the kid and how much do you blame the situation?
That's true. It must be getting frustrating for the teachers too. I mean, you know, they're spending 60% of their time just monitoring the classroom as opposed to teaching the subject. I can understand their frustration.
I mean, the teachers, they work hard. They earn every penny they get. I know sometimes it's open season on some of our public sector employees, but I think that's wrong. You know, to try to undercut fire, police, teachers, we're just hurting each other. We're all in the middle class, and we're all here to earn a decent living, and that's not the answer. So my hat goes off to the teachers for the job they do under a difficult set of circumstances.
Yeah, it is a tough call. What about state funding for like in Brockton? We have a real problem with our downtown. We've been trying for years to revitalize it. People come to the table with all different ideas. Nothing seems to catch on. Nothing seems to work. Do you know of anything going on at Beacon Hill now, or would you be in position to propose something that would get us more funding, maybe from the federal level or from the state level, to help revitalize the infrastructure here in downtown Brockton?
That's, I think, a three-part question. You can't talk about jobs without talking about education and crime. You've got to incorporate all three. They're all interconnected. To simply think that we're going to throw something in the middle of downtown Brockton and that's going to make all the ills of society go away is really foolhardy. You've got to look at a different approach, and the one I would take is, instead of trying to insert something into a bad area downtown, let's start from the outside and work our way in. Let's start with all the neighborhoods from the outskirts of the city. Let's clean them up as best we can, and I think we can do it. There's a lot of good people that are willing to make that effort and investment, and eventually as you work your way towards the center, it's going to take care of itself. But that seems to be the strategy that we should embark on. It's not simply revitalize downtown and talk about it for 30 years. I mean, since the closing of Almies, I mean, you know, for years people have talked about doing something. I've watched it my whole adult life. It's not happening. Time for a different approach. Let's focus from the outside, work our way in.
Because it can be done. I mean, Worcester's done it, Springfield has done it.
Jamaica Plain,
you know,
had some rough times, and now you can't touch the property.
They're making something out of their downtown. But as you say, you can walk the street there at night, and you don't have homeless people laying around. You don't have drug addicts over here at the park right around the corner. I mean, you got to clean up the crime first. And, of course, that gets back to the money issue. You need more police and officers and more money for the police department to do their job. So that would be something that you'd have to work on.
And it's not as simple as just throwing more police out in the street. We talk about that as if, you know, it's a Band-Aid approach, and it is. You've got to really have a comprehensive solution, and I give credit to Bill Carpenter, the school committeeman in Ward 5. He talked about the drug epidemic, and that cuts across, you know, all types of ethnicities and income levels. It doesn't discriminate. Drugs are a terrible thing, and I think what you need is to look at the way we're treating it. It's a health issue. It's not simply just a crime issue. If we can address the nonviolent users and get them the right treatment and the right supervision, I think you're going to see some of the drug problem go away.
Do you see that there's a state drug plan that works or that can be expanded upon to help cities like Brockton?
Absolutely. I think drug courts have been successful. I know they've been used in Suffolk County and Norfolk. We don't have them here in Plymouth County. I would like to see that type of concept employed in Plymouth County, and I think it would be a great
for the folks
benefit.
At home and for myself too. Yep. Could you explain that a little further?
Sure. The drug courts, it's to treat nonviolent end users, not the drug dealers, not the kingpins. That's a whole different class, and I agree we should lock them up and throw away the key. But for those that are susceptible and get hooked, instead of just simply putting them in jail and having them come out and reoffend again, because statistics show that they do, there needs to be a different type of intervention, a different type of treatment, and that's what drug courts do.
So that could wouldn't be putting someone that's just probably has no other problems outside of the drug dependency in with the hardened criminals into the regular jail system.
Absolutely. And a lot of it's young people that get hooked. They try it, they get any number of reasons. I'm not an expert on the subject, but we've seen the people, we all know of people, friends that it's affected, children of friends. We've got to treat it as a health issue, and that's really what it is.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, you know, you look at it and you say, well, it doesn't affect me. But then if you think about it, you can't go too far from yourself before you see it, like you said, a friend of a friend or a friend's child has it, or.
And we all make mistakes, especially with the youth opiate addiction. I don't think you should throw away your whole life for one mistake like that. It can happen. It's happened to too many people, especially here in the city. You know, you've got to find ways to address this issue and let people work their way back, be responsible, productive citizens, and I think the vast majority of them can be, with the right supervision and treatment.
It's a big problem because we don't have just young people that are not just becoming bums over it; they're dying.
Right.
You know,
and that's the worst thing.
That's a big difference. You know,
kids are dying. It's awful. It rips families apart. That's a problem. That is an epidemic. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, these are all things that you got to get elected first, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, is there anything that we haven't touched on that you'd like to bring forth before the voters?
I would just ask for their support. I have a background in public service, and my roots are here in the city, and I look forward to serving the residents of Brockton, and I think we're going to make a difference. I think there's a lot of things we can do to finally bring some prosperity back to the middle class, because let's face it, you're either going to be very rich or very poor. That's the direction we're heading, and we've got to change our policies. Everything that we do seems to be geared towards large multinational corporations, and you know, somehow we got lost along the way. We've got to stop that trend.
Okay, Matt, we got about a couple of minutes left.
Sure.
Would you look right in that camera there? Tell the voters at home why they should be electing Matt Albanese as their next representative for the 10th Plymouth District.
Sure. I would like your confidence and your vote to be your next state representative, because I'm going to be focusing on the next 20 years and looking at the long-term picture of what we can do to improve the quality of life for residents, not just in Brockton, not just in West Bridgewater, not just in Easton, but throughout this whole Commonwealth. We live in tough times, but we have to come up with some tough solutions. As a selectman in my community, I've been able to make those tough decisions and make the choices that are going to benefit my residents over the next 20 years. And I think we need to do that at the state level. It's time to head in a new direction. It's time to bring about change, but it's change with a plan. And I'm looking forward to serving as your next state representative.
Matt, if they want to help out with the campaign, how can they get a hold of you? Website, telephone numbers? Give them right now. This is the chance.
This is the chance, and I think you have to be accessible to the people you serve, so I'll give my home phone. It's 588-7034. I'll even give out my cell phone, which sounds crazy, but I'll do it. 508-736-8969. And also you can visit my website, mattalbanese.com, mattalbanese.com.
Great, that's great, Matt. Thanks for being on our show today. And well, it's good. It's a long way to go. We're just getting started here, but
we are, but it goes by quick.
Yeah.
I've met a lot of great people, and many of which I already know in the city. So it's great to have their support and their confidence, and I think we're going to see some good things come September.
Yeah, it's good to get on the shows like these, let the folks see you, and you get to know you a little bit better. They probably heard of you, but get to know you a little bit better. It's a pleasure having you on here.
Same here. Thank you.
And we'll probably have you on again before the whole thing's over.
Great.
Well, we just want to remind the folks at home that we do have, we're just getting going with these candidates now. We do have the September primary coming up with the November general election. We'll be bringing all the candidates into your home, and we hope that you'll join us on future editions of Democratically Speaking. Thanks for watching tonight.